Hi, everybody, and welcome to The Green Card with my amazing guest, Kate Barron. Hello.
Thanks
How
for
are you
having
doing?
me.
Thank you for doing this. So first, I briefly spoke about it before, about how I'm trying to do this thing that I'm trialing things on this pod. You know, I'm learning. I'm a learning gal.
You are a learning gal.
Thank you.
4 degrees.
4 degrees. Oh, who's that?
Who's that?
Flex. One's in acting, though, so that kind of...
I don't care.
takes
You have
one
4
of them.
degrees. I would be proud if I were you.
Okay. All right. I can't act still, but anyways.
Oh, yeah. You must be able to act a little bit.
No, I'm so bad.
Would you ever do OnlyFans?
I kind of talked about this before, about how I think I'm too low confident to be on OnlyFans.
But then everyone would hype you up and be like, yeah, baby.
I know. I feel like me, I would be like, hey, guys, I'm bloated today. 20% off. You know what I mean? Like,
that is fucking funny. Have you talked about that on stage?
I did. I tried to do a bit about it.
That is funny.
Yeah.
30% off. I'm a bit had Indian food last night, guys. 25% off. Oh my God, that's fucking funny.
Yeah. I feel like I'm like so not confident. Like I'm like,
which is so wild.
I feel like I'm just withering away. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean? No.
It feels like I'm like, oh, like, because the last few years I haven't really properly been dating, so it feels like I've just wasted. I'm like, there goes the prime years of my life. Like,
okay, no, there's not the prime years of your life. Plus, I think for most women, the 30s are their prime. Like, and honestly, the more women I meet who are like mid to late 30s, 40s, they're just like finally going, I'm finally coming into my. I don't think I came into my own until the last few years. I honestly don't feel like I feel the best I've ever felt about myself, and more confident than I've ever felt in the last few years than I have ever in my entire life.
Wow.
Yeah. Everything.
But that's because you've gone through a lot of transformations. You've gone through a lot of...
Yeah, but it took me going through all that growth and all of that stuff. All through my 20s, and even when I turned 30, I was a mess. I was lost. I wasn't even doing comedy then. I was just a mess in all sense of the word, and it was just me figuring it all out. Like, and I feel like even my early 30s was a lot like that. And it took me a long time to just figure out who I was and get confident with myself and do all that. But that's also part of doing all these changes and everything. Yeah. Too hard on yourself. You're not, I think, and I talk to people about this all the time, that you need to have more grace with yourself and you need to give yourself more time. Yeah.
Compassion. My new therapist tells me I need to have compassion with myself.
You should, because we all are. We're all harder on ourselves than we would be like on a friend.
Yeah. Oh,
we're all, right? If I was like in front of you saying all this stuff about myself, you're like, that's not true.
Yeah.
But you say it about yourself and it's just emphatically not true.
Yeah.
But I get it's harder and you believe it, so you have to overcome all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you will.
One day.
I have faith you will.
Thank you.
You will.
Oh my God. I'm not even going to release this. So this is just
you're going to play it to fall asleep to?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm trying to work on my growth.
Yes.
And so I want to work on my vocab.
Yeah. And I love that goal. I think that's a great goal.
So I am going to pick a vocab word and we're going to try. Okay. This is not. Basically what I did is I printed out vocab words because I was running late.
Yeah.
And I didn't read them out before, but some of the words I know. This is a word that I already know.
Maybe do you think I know it?
Charisma.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we both got it. We know it. Okay.
So we're just learning a word, or are we talking about it?
We're learning a word and going to try to use it throughout the podcast if we can, you know?
I'd say you have charisma.
You think so?
Yeah.
I hope I have.
That's a word I used to describe my boyfriend a lot, is charisma. He's very charming. He's very charismatic.
Charisma is people who are charismatic is such an attractive trait. Yeah. Like that's.
It's very magnetic. Like you just go, there's something about that person.
But it always makes me worry because I'm always like, oh my God, like they have like women are so easily impressed, and charisma was one thing that I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna cheat on me because he's charismatic.
Yeah, but then he's a bad guy. Like, not all charismatic people are going to do that. I think you just need to find one that's like...
That's what the definition says.
Charisma. A dickhead who cheats on you. Love it.
I don't know anything. I think like the second I moved this far away from my family, I'm like, oh, I don't know shit.
But this is good. This is why we move. This is why we explore, become better, stronger people.
Yeah, but I find it so I find it so overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. But like it's good. It is good to be overwhelmed.
It's good, but at the same time, I'm just like, I feel like because we both moved over here, and I feel like it's, in the last few years, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so lonely. So being over here is just like, it just makes me realize how lonely I am.
Yeah. You know that once when I was really lonely and bored living here, I went over to Greenwich by myself, went to IKEA and just had dinner by myself and like watched a video on like Netflix and like just ate in the food court alone at IKEA and walked around, and it made me feel happy.
I've done that.
Have you?
Yeah.
Why don't we do this together?
Wait, we could have done it together. I do a lot of stuff alone where I'm like, I shouldn't do this alone.
Like you went to Cadbury World, which is amazing. I love it. And you created a whole TikTok about it and people loved it.
You know what it is? It's like, I feel like I went to Disneyland Paris alone.
Yeah.
That one was one where I'm like, I
totally would have gone with you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Wait, why did I go? I was in Paris for shows, and I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm like, might as well go to Disneyland.
But that's another thing with moving away. You go, of course, like that, you have to go do that stuff. There's stuff that I do, and I'll go to like museums by myself or go for dinners by myself. I don't love doing things alone, but I think sometimes you just have to go, would I rather do this alone or not do this at all?
Yeah. Do you ever stayed in hostels? No.
Yeah, a long time ago, but not really.
Yeah. I've gone off.
Like
I used to
one
go
or two nights. We're too old for that shit.
I'm
you
too
really
old.
have to be okay with people having sex on the bunk above you.
No, I can't do that.
Like, you need to be okay with people having sex all around you.
Well, I only stay in female ones.
Still.
There are no boys allowed.
You sound like such a little Girl Scout. It's so cute. No boys allowed.
Yeah, I don't like boys seeing me like in my sleepwear.
No, me neither. Because then you like titties out and all that shit.
Yeah, no, that makes me uncomfortable. Like, I like a boy-free zone.
Yeah, I like a boy-free zone.
But traveling alone, it's so hard because you have to be so much vigilant. More alert.
Yeah, especially like there's places that there's just loads of pickpocketers, there's scammers, and then when they know you're alone, you can't say you're alone, or somebody's like, oh, what are you doing, or whatever. You can't really say it. You can't say it out loud. You don't know who's listening. You don't know if like you're going to be followed after. Yeah. It's just so many more things that you need to think of being a woman and being out. And like, can't even listen to your music or have your AirPods in at night and stuff like that.
When I was younger, though, I think I would do like such silly things, and I put myself at like such risk.
I've literally gotten into cars with strangers before because they've pulled up to a bus stop and offered me a ride. I remember I was like late to school, and this woman pulled up. She goes, "Hey, you going up to the high school?" And this is like back when I lived with my parents in high school. And I was waiting for the bus. She's like, "I'm going by there if you want to ride." And I'm like, "Oh, it's a woman with a baby." I'm like, "It's probably fine." And I'm just like, "Sure." And I just got into her car. And my friends and I, on like New Year's Eve and stuff, you could never find cabs anywhere. And we've gone and like a guy would drive by and be like, "Do you girls need to ride somewhere?" And I remember we both went to go get in the back seat. And he's like, one of you rides in the front. And then we were like, rock, paper, scissors. And I lost, so I had to go in the front.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a no. I was in Budapest.
I've never been to Budapest. I really, really want to go.
It's so cool. It's in Budapest traveling with my friend, and him and I had gotten an argument, and so he did his own thing, and then I went out on a pub crawl. And the leader of the pub crawl was like, there was this place that we went that was like, you get unlimited pints of wine for 30 minutes. Pints of wine for 30 minutes. And the queue,
1 pint of wine would send me.
Yeah. The queue was insane.
No shit.
Obviously. But then
that's like a pint of wine is like almost a glass of wine.
Well, no, that's
or almost a bottle.
That's it's too much wine.
Yeah. Or is it just the right amount?
It was way too much. But he kept on like going to the front of the queue and getting stuff for me.
Yeah.
So he kept on going back and getting stuff for me. And then by like the time where we were meant to go to a different pub, I was so drunk. I threw up on the dance floor. I threw up.
We've all been there.
In the toilet, missed the toilet.
Yeah.
And was just like so disgusting. But this guy was like, kept on like trying to like get with me.
I have definitely thrown up before and then made out with somebody at a bar before.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and looking back, I go, that's disgusting.
But I'm like, he was like trying to like still like trying to hook up with me, trying to da-da-da. And then the other girls were like, "Oh no, she needs to go home." He's like, "Okay, I'll take her home. Yeah. So we go he calls a taxi. He goes in with me. They
let him take you home.
Yeah. He's speaking Hungarian.
Friends?
Well,
They're
there were some people from the hostel.
Right.
So I hear him speaking Hungarian to the driver. The driver's a woman. She's looking back at me, and I'm telling her the hostel name, and she's looking back at him.
Oh, and he's saying go somewhere else?
And he's speaking Hungarian, and she's like, okay. And I can tell she's agrees with where he says.
Yeah.
And I don't speak any Hungarian, but I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So the car started moving, and I jumped out. I jumped out of the car.
Good.
And
good that you had enough wits about you to go.
But it's like that's what's so scary about being. It's like even I was so disgustingly intoxicated.
I mean, no one deserves anything, but that's why you have to be extra on guard
all the time.
Very protective of your friends, or like if you're gonna go out and party like that. You honestly, one of you needs to be like kind of sober watching the other ones. But it's hard. You can't babysit your friends. Not that you deserve it or warrant it, but like. You can't lose control too much or not be aware of your surroundings, because there have been so many times I was like blackout and I go, holy shit, something really bad could have happened to me. And there have been times where stuff that was bad did happen to me.
Yeah.
And I blame myself for it because of the state I was in.
Yeah, but that's not. I mean, there's just some really bad guys. I was going to say crummy. There's some crummy guys. What are they like?
Yeah.
Gosh, what a turn we've taken.
What a turn. I haven't really had that many nights of like going like out.
Yeah, I don't go out anymore either.
Because I moved here and I was gigging so much constantly. Every night I was gigging. And then we had the pandemic, and then I don't really drink that much anymore.
Yeah, I feel the same. I also hate
I think it'd be fun to go out for a night with you and like really do it up.
I do love going out.
Me and Hattie should go out and get really messy one night.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
I also love dancing. Like I love, and I think it's like people like comics always want to go, but I'm like, I like dancing. Like I like when like reggaeton comes on, like I'm like, this is my element.
Yeah.
Leave me.
You're a spicy Latina. Of course you dance.
But I love it. But in certain settings, I think like I have to be like fully, like when I just went to Mexico with my best friend, and we went salsa dancing, and I just had my backpack, and I'm like, I can't dance with my backpack.
Can you put it down?
I was too worried. I was too like paranoid to put it down.
Why did you have your backpack?
Because I was coming from a gig.
Oh yeah. Again, we have our backpacks at our gigs.
I hate the
backpacks.
backpacks.
Dora the Explorer.
Yeah,
I know.
I literally did a freaking of what's it called, the Instagram of being like, I'm Dora, like this backpack, like
with me with my backpack. But you can do the Spanish part. Maybe you are Dora. Maybe you should get your haircut like her. That's what you should do on your next Menti B. Yeah. Do like a Dora cut.
Okay. What? My next what?
Menti B. Mental breakdown.
Oh, mental breakdown. I was like, what was that? Have you had a mental breakdown?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Like today?
No.
Or like this week? Or like, of course I have.
Yeah, I have.
Of course I've had like crazy low moments and crazy like.
How do you get? Do you lash out with people around you?
I get really into myself and really I stop answering my phone. I stop returning texts. My texts start piling up. I start getting a million notifications. I stop hanging out with people. I get really withdrawn from friends and I'll pull back.
Yeah.
If I get really stressed out and stuff is going on with me, I get really, really quiet.
Yeah.
And it's more my inner whatever. And then like, I don't know. I just get nuts. Yeah. And then I fixate on stuff.
Yeah. I fixate too. I'll get sad and then I'll have like one friend that I'll call and I'll be like, oh, this is the worst. This is terrible.
This is terrible.
And then they'll
these crummy men out here.
These guys are bad. Oh yeah. Men are isn't it so horrible how men just take over the brain?
Yeah. Well, I think any sort of love life takes over your brain.
Takes anything, any love, any whatever.
Like whoever you date, I think anyone.
Yes.
Kid gets consumed by the people they date.
Well, I feel like some people don't. I feel like there's the people who get consumed and the people.
Or do you think those people are just play it cool?
Well, like, no, I think that what makes it worse for me is I'll be like, oh, they don't care. Like, they're not feeling the same feeling. Like, I'm like,
right.
I'm like, thinking about it all the time. this
crawling
is,
out of a box.
Crawling. And I'm like, I'll wake up in the morning. I'm like, text? Did they text me?
But I still do that. The first thing I do in the morning is I roll over, look at my phone and see if my boyfriend texts me in the morning. Because he wakes up before me. Or like if I kind of wake up and I'm like, I want to sleep in a little bit longer, I put my phone on loud. Like I'll click on the sound so I can hear when he texts me.
I do that.
And then I'll hear it be like, bing. And then I'm like, oh, he's texting me. And I roll over.
Still do. For me, I've been in situationships where I'm like, it's like Pavlov's dog. Like I've had own ringtones for them. And I'd be like, gotta go. Gotta go. Where's my phone? Where's my phone?
Like, yeah.
Like it's really bad. Or like if I miss a call from them, I'll be like, oh my God, so much anxiety. What if it was so important? What if he wanted me to change his life? What if he wanted my influence? Like,
what if he wanted me to change his life?
Like, I just, like, I get so much anxiety, like, and then I've also, like, I'll go on Do Not Disturb because I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah,
right
I feel like you're either available or you're completely not available.
Yeah.
Which is like two extremes.
Yeah. I'm always on Do Not Disturb. Always.
Yeah.
Or because I get just notifications just give me anxiety.
Same sometimes. So there's a lot of group chats or people who annoy me and I will mute them.
Yeah.
So I just mute them for like a week or whatever at a time, or I archive them so I don't get their notifications.
Oh, so what
I can go in and look once I see them and I go, oh, hey, sorry, didn't see this.
What I will do is I'll just turn the whole phone off.
That's that gives me anxiety.
Like I will I'll go on Do Not Disturb, and on Do Not Disturb usually it's like two people who can contact me, my sister.
Yeah.
And like,
oh, so you have exceptions. Yeah.
Yeah. Like my sister's one of the only ones that slips in at any time.
Yeah, I would have to have that too, especially since we don't live near our family. So if something was going on back home, that's always the fear. Like anytime my sister calls me at midnight or 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning or something, I freak out.
Yeah. Okay, so we've talked about this before about the 36 questions that lead to love.
Yeah, are these the 36 questions?
Yeah, and how,
oh my God.
And how
I've done these. I did these with my boyfriend.
Oh yeah?
We did these on we broke them up over multiple dates, but we did all of the questions within the first couple months of dating. We did all of these and we talked to each other and we got in these big long conversations, but we had a lot of them we knew because we'd had these bigger conversations.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I could answer some of these with past partners, but I feel like not all of them. I feel like
because they get really intimate and really in depth and everything. And one of them is just stare at each other for 4 minutes. We did that too. Okay.
So
what if we fall in love with each other?
Well,
could I be more in love with you than I already am? I don't know.
Oh my God, I think you can.
Maybe.
Let's see. Okay, so this is the first date. Because you used to date a lot.
Yeah, I was a chronic first dater.
God.
That's why I'm so good at bowling. I've talked about this before. Because I used to go on so many bowling first dates, and then slowly the guys would teach me how to bowl.
I thought you said bullying, and I'm like, what are you doing on these
also
first
that,
dates?
because I'm mean to these men. No, I used to go lots of playing pool, mini golf, and bowling would be the top choices for first dates.
You would pick or they would pick?
They would pick, but they'd be like, oh, do you want to go do something fun? I'm like, yeah, totally. And I'm like, well, that's something it's fun to do. It kind of keeps you moving. You have something fun to I don't know. You don't have to sit there and kind of interview each other.
I'm so awkward on dates.
But that's why doing something like that, doing something like bowling is fun because you can be kind of flirty with each other. And if you like each other, if not, you can just go bowling. And then when the bowling stops, you go whatever. Or if it's good, I go, should we grab a drink now? But you've already been up and you've been bowling. You've had fun and you get to play.
See, you do it so well.
But this is my problem. I am a good first dater because I know how to have a great first date. Andrew and I talked about this on our podcast. I know how to have a good first date, but then I walk away from it and be like, meh. And they go, oh my God, that was the best first date ever. I go,
yeah.
I was underwhelmed.
No one's ever told me that was a good first date.
What? No.
Well, I'm so awkward. People are like, oh.
So then you just need to do stuff because I feel like if you did an escape room or an arcade or bowling.
I've been in the arcade once with a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it unattractive that he couldn't win anything.
Yeah, I mean I get really competitive too. Yeah. So yeah, it's always funny when guys go, oh, I'm going to school you.
But I just feel like I'm not good at dating. The one time I went on a date and I asked him, I was like, what Harry Potter house are you in? And he was like, wait, I don't know. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
But then did you not talk about Harry Potter before then or anything?
Well, he knew I was a weirdo about it. But then I did a quiz on him. And I'm like at minute 35, I was like, is this a bad idea?
I think you're so cute. No, I think that's part of why you're charming and endearing.
But I think it's charming for a bit, but then it's like,
no, it'll be charming to the right person. To your person, it's gonna be charming and very adorable, and they're gonna be all into that shit too, and they're gonna love it. But it's not for everyone. You were a niche kind of girl.
Yeah, I'm a niche gal.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you one of these questions, and then we're going to fall in love.
Are we going to fall in love with each other?
I think so.
Do you know, it was always my dream to do this with a partner, but I never found somebody who I was like, I don't want to do it with them until my current partner. And so I really saved, I knew about these for like probably the last 5 or 6 years or whatever. And then I was always like, whoever the next person I date who I really see a potential future with, I would want to do these questions with them to really do this with them. And I didn't do it with any of them. And then I was talking to my now boyfriend, and he was like really up for it and everything. I think he knew about them before as well, but a lot of the conversations, and what was good is some of them would come out and go, well, we've already talked about that. We actually know that answer. And it showed us how much we had actually talked about before, but it did really help us get close. So I love these questions.
Well, I love these questions so much that I do them on first dates.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, we started ours date. It was like date 3 or 4 or something like that. But we got like really hot and heavy.
Guys, yeah. Oh, I love
that. Into it.
We've got share with your partner an embarrassing moment in your life.
Oh my God. What do I even choose
from?
So
many embarrassing moments.
Literally so many embarrassing moments.
Like too many, I'd say.
You know what's one that like just completely comes to, I don't know why this came to mind. I remember I was at a house party that this girl, she always used to throw house parties. And people would always end up crying at them because it was like high school house party.
Yes,
and it was all like emotional and whatever. And I just remember being there, and I had the biggest crush on this guy who was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he liked her or some other girl. But I was always the girl who liked and would be friends with and got friend zoned by all the guys.
Okay.
So I would like these guys and have crushes on them and do all this stuff. And then they'd be like, oh my God, can you talk to your friend for me? Because she's really pretty. And I was like, yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah. She'd be a way better fit for you. Yeah. No, totally. And I'd be like a hot fucking mess. And I remember like there was some house party and I made some stupid joke and everyone was like, what? And I was like, oh, whatever. And I just like danced off and I put my entire foot in the dog water bowl and it went everywhere. And people were like, what the fuck is it? And I was like, totally. So for some reason, I just like, it was such a stupid moment, but that just immediately went into my brain. And I haven't thought about that in so long. Completely embarrassed myself.
Oh my God. Totally, guys.
Totally. And they're like, oh, you're standing in the dog bowl. I'm like, totally. Such a fucking idiot. I have so many embarrassing moments. Literally, my life was one big embarrassing moment.
But I feel like I like blanked them all out. I'm like, never happened. Oopsie. Like cut them out. Like I cut out so much. I did so much embarrassing shit.
Yeah.
But like,
well, I mean, you're like literally talking about how you give like Hufflepuff quizzes or whatever on your first dates. Like,
yeah. I'm trying to think what was, there's too many.
I mean, yeah, it's so many. A lot with like me trying to be funny or overcompensate or be like sexy around men or something like that. And you're just like, no, it's not it. Like I just had no self-esteem and I was just such a dork.
Yeah.
I just ended up in these stupid situations. It's gonna be like, totally.
Yeah. One that sticks out that I can remember.
Oh my God, I can already tell I'm gonna be like embarrassed by this.
I used to be obsessed with the basketball team at my high school.
Yes.
And college. In high school, I liked this guy. And so I asked the coach if I can help out in any ways. He's like, yeah, you can come and sweep the gym floor before practice every day. And I was like, sign me up.
I knew that was going to get you back.
Sweet.
You thought being a janitor for the boys basketball team was going to get you a date.
I'd be like, hey.
Oh my God.
And I would just be there like, woo. Like, hey guys. Like they'd be just putting on their shoes and I'd be like, let me just sweep around. Yeah. Like,
I love you so much.
And then one day I brought Valentines for them.
You did.
And I made them all like little like candies and then like tied them up and then got basketball themed Valentine's card and said to whatever from Katie. And I gave them all, and the coach was like, "Okay, everyone, line up at the half court line. Like, Katie's got stuff for you, whatever." And I was like, "Hey guys," and then I gave them all to, and then I turned away, and the guy like threw his at my head.
No,
yeah, he threw it.
No, that is so mean.
Fuck you. Yeah, it was. I'm like, and it was the worst because I obviously knew who it was because his name was on the Valentine.
And you had to sweep it up.
Just like, I got it. No big deal.
I love that you're like gonna cry right now. Oh my God, that's horrifying.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Oh my God, Katie. See, this is the thing. You have the most purest, beautiful heart ever.
But
you're so wholesome and beautiful. And honestly, this is why whoever you end up with is just gonna love every bit of you, and you're just amazing. But that is really embarrassing.
That's
so
so
embarrassing for them. Fuck them.
No.
Imagine somebody being nice to you, and then you just go, "Huh, fucking loser." Fucking high school's awful, man.
Yeah, high school was so bad.
Awful.
It was. I mean, high school was the worst. I have lots of embarrassing moments. You know when stuff is like so like the other day
But that's like I honestly that is like. Yes, I get that. That's embarrassing. But that's just mean.
Yeah.
And like, that's like, I think embarrassing is more like when I'm literally looking at a book on your bookshelf called Confident right now. I love it. Have you read that yet?
Not yet.
Yeah. I just think that's like bullying. Like that's mean. Embarrassing is more like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody's mean to you. That's just like, embarrassing is like sometimes I fall down.
Oh God, yeah, I fell on someone on the tube the other day, and I fell into his arms.
Oh,
and
did you think it was gonna be your meet cute?
I thought it was gonna be our meet cute, but and I ruined it. I was like, I just fell on you. I'm in your arms right now. and he was like, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm in your arms. And I'm like, I was like so, and I'm like, I ruined it. And then my whole body turned red, of course. And I was like, this is my stop. It was like so.
Was it your stop?
It wasn't my stop. It was
Did
so
you get
early.
off?
Yeah, I got up and I just sat at the platform like,
It's like next train, 14 minutes.
like, oh, never mind.
Oh my God.
I do so much stuff. Like, I embarrass myself a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Make 3 true we statements each. For instance, we are both in this room feeling.
Oh, I like that. I remember this. I remember this just brought back a memory of when I did this with my partner.
Okay.
He was
Still rubbing it in. I love that. He's like, this just reminds me of the fact that I have love and you're alone. Okay. So.
No, it just brought back a nice memory.
Cute.
Okay. We statements. We are both beautiful girls.
Funny.
We're both funny.
So
we're both
funny.
smart.
Both so smart.
We're both gonna make it.
We're both gonna make it.
We're both embarrassing at
Both
times.
So embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are both in this room.
We're both in this room.
And we both love to fucking. You and I, what I like is you remind me of the friends I grew up with who have been friends with forever.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to find, and I haven't found it here, where I can just be on the phone and talk shit and talk nothing.
Yeah.
We can literally be on the phone for like 2 hours of like, I don't even know what we literally have to be, okay, I have to go. We've been on the phone for 2.5 hours. But like, I'm talking about, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
know what we talk about either.
know what we talk about.
You're like, what do you talk about? I'm like, I don't know.
Lots of just like shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes gossip, more just shit. We talk about everything from like TikToks or beauty shit we saw or like just random. Do you want to know not a fun, but an interesting beauty fact?
Yeah.
I have been using eyelash serum. And I've also noticed in the last little while, I'm like, I feel like I have more fine lines and wrinkles. My under eyes look more noticeable. So all these eyelash serums that people are using to grow their lashes out, they result in orbital fat loss. So the fat loss around your eyes, making your eyes look more aged and older and fine lines. So all like the fat that plumps them up and make them look youthful and healthier, this serum it takes that away. Yeah, fun fact.
So you're gonna stop using the serum?
Yeah, I threw it out.
Wow.
I haven't been using it now for like 2 weeks, and I've already noticed a slight change. Because I was like, why is this happening? I was talking to my sister. I was like, oh my God, I noticed that too. But yeah, all these women were like, why is this happening? They started noticing all this stuff, and it's one of the major side effects. But they don't talk about it. Lash growth serum.
Oh.
That's part of what it does. It creates the orbital fat loss.
Not mascara though.
Not mascara. It's like the stuff that grows your lashes.
Oh.
My eyelashes were like really long and crazy. People were like, "Oh my god, are those your lashes? Like they're so long." But you have to use it every night, and then it gets all in your eyes. But then it causes something to.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's like people with like younger. You often look a bit younger if you're chubbier and stuff, or you have a bit more fat in your face. That's why people get fillers and stuff when they get older.
Oh.
Because when you're like more gaunt, you look a little bit more aged.
Yeah. Oh. I overheard something about how like your face routine, you're meant to actually pull it down all the way here.
Yeah. So I do my face serums and stuff. I do them on the back of my hands and my chest. So you should do on here and then down your neck and on your chest. And then I'll use the leftover on the back of my hands.
But what serums are you using?
Hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, and then sometimes a glycolic acid like toner, and then or like a toner and.
But that must make this.
I don't use the toner on my hands. I use the niacinamide and hyaluronic acid on the back of my hands, and then I'll use a hand lotion right before bed.
Okay, I'm fucked. Okay, let's do one last question. This is the one that I ask on first dates, and it never gets me a second date.
So maybe stop doing it. How many times you are the person who goes, when I do this, it hurts. Stop doing that.
Yeah, I am. I'm like, wait, but how
Every
do
time I
stop?
do this, it hurts. Stop doing that.
But I want him to love me for who I am.
I mean, but there is also part of that. You just got to be you.
Yeah, but
and
I feel like
somebody
me is
who's
too
gonna
much.
love you is.
No, I feel like no one really loves me. Okay, cool.
Oh my god, no, that's not true. I love you.
No, well, yeah, cool. Then you fuck me. Okay. Okay. This is the one I asked on first dates.
Okay.
Your house, containing everything you own, catches on fire.
Yeah.
After saving your loved ones and pets, you have time to safely make a final dash to save any one item.
Yeah.
What would it be and why?
It would be my grandmother's necklace. So my grandma who like raised me, she used to wear this like silver chain, and it's just something she wore for a long time, and she has it on in a lot of photos and stuff. I have that, and I have this pearl necklace from her. I try to save those too. Okay. Because it's just from her, and they mean a lot to me. And like, yeah, the pearl necklace, but especially that silver one. The silver one is the silver one I wore it every single day in Edinburgh, actually, when I did my show.
Oh, yeah?
And I wore it for my Soho Theatre show for luck and
I
on my taping and stuff. So if I want for like luck, and she gave me an old string of pearls, and my mom got them restrung for me. And I'm like, when I get married, I'm going to wear those.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So because those are like, I can't replace those. It's just like a sterling silver chain. It's to anyone else, it'd just be whatever. But to me, it means everything. Because everything else is just like stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that can be replaced. Yeah, that's the one I would say. What would you save?
I was going to say my iPad, but.
Is that really what you would say?
No, I'm a hoarder. So
yeah, I
would
fucking
just,
know you are.
I would just come in and be like, well, one item. Okay,
and then you'd be the one item, and you'd be like the hot mess like you are on the airplane with your one carry-on with all the fucking bags.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, you didn't say it couldn't be my one big suitcase.
Oh my God. Yeah, and then that's how you die in the fire.
Yeah.
No, what is one item that you would save?
My grandma's give me like I have a necklace. I have a pair of earrings that were my great grandmother's.
Yeah.
And my grandmother has a photograph of her with the earrings.
Yeah, I love that.
But those are at home. But I have a necklace that my grandma gave me for when I turned 15 for my 15 años. Yeah. But then I'd be like, why isn't I can just put that on? So then I could get another item.
Yeah. And then you save your iPad.
Yeah. Then my iPad.
You're so funny.
And then the charger.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And then if you're gonna have the charger for that, like you should have your like watch charger and like
might
as well watch charger with a little watch.
Just like take out the whole like extension plug.
Oh my God! But then you should grab your microphones in case you want to podcast live from the fire outside.
Yeah.
R.I.P. my home.
Fire is one of my biggest fears, though.
Oh my God, I hate fire. Fire, yeah, because it's uncontrollable. I mean, it is the stuff like that. Fire and really overwhelming, like being in the ocean and how vast it is. But I love ocean swimming actually, and I do really love it. So I have no problem jumping off a boat into the ocean and stuff. Yeah. Are you like that if you're like on a yacht or something?
I hate the ocean. I'm a really bad swimmer. This actually another embarrassing moment is that in swimming, we had high school swimming, and I can't swim. but I joined in the pool.
Yeah. That's
in
scary.
The big pool. Yeah. I mean, I can swim, but like not. It's like
yeah.
And so we had to do a lap. The whole class doing a lap, and everyone got to the end, and I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
And the teacher blows a whistle and says, "You get out of the water. You can't swim."
Yeah.
And I was like,
that's
oh my
dangerous.
God. And then so I had to get out of the water. And while I got out of the water, my bottoms come off.
Oh my God. And you couldn't think of an embarrassing story before. Now look at you. For real, they came off?
And I was like, my whole bum crack was out. And I had to like pull them out. And I was like, I shouldn't have been wearing a bikini, but I wanted to be cool.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's scary. Jumping into a pool or going swimming in the ocean. Yeah, do not do that if you cannot
shouldn't
swim.
do that. No.
No, I'm a pretty good swimmer. Like I grew up swimming and stuff, and I'm like such a water baby. Like I love being in the water. I love being in a pool. So like when I was recently on a boat, we were in Cyprus and everything. We were in the Blue Lagoon, and I was like, and no one else, like next, probably only a handful of other people that I did not know were jumping in the water, and no one that I knew there was jumping in and going swimming. And I was like, you know what? How often am I going to be in the fucking Blue Lagoon?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm jumping off this boat. And I was just like, fuck this. And it's something that like when I was before and when I was bigger and when I was always self-conscious, like, oh my God, I would never change my bathing suit around other, whatever. I'm like, fuck that. Like, I just want to enjoy my life. I want to jump off the boat. I'm so glad I did. And it was so nice. And I didn't want to come out of the water. And then I started my period immediately when I came out of the water, and I was like, love that for me.
Gotta go back in the water and make it stop.
Yeah. Oh, shark attack.
That's what happened with me in the Great Barrier Reef. I was like, can I scuba dive with a life jacket without knowing how to swim?
No.
And they're like, it's fun. And I was like, okay. And then so I go there, and by myself, and I get to the point we take the boat all the way out.
To be fair, I think part of swimming is like you can't catch your breath and you're drowning. So if you have a tank on you,
well,
but I mean that's still pretty dangerous.
Well, so basically, what happened is like the guide takes you out, and then you're off to go look at the reef.
Yeah,
the guide takes me out, and he was basically, I was like, okay, I'm gonna let go now, and I was like, wait, what? And then he lets go, and I'm just like, and I'm like floating, and then I'm about to hit the reef, like so just some reef, and he's like going.
You can't even. I don't think you're even allowed to touch the reef.
Yeah, no, you're not.
It's like that's like protected.
Yeah, and I'm like. And then he like swims and comes gets me. And I'm like, me
how
cute.
Would they?
I'm like,
me
wow.
Cute. I mean, your arms.
I know. Oh my God.
I love you.
That's my way to get a man. I'm like, wow.
Oh my God. I can't believe that's really irresponsible though of them to let you.
Well, yeah, I think they're probably like, I think I probably said I'm not a strong swimmer.
Yeah, not a swimmer.
I'm like,
oh my God.
It was so bad. Yeah.
No.
They took a picture of me down there, and I'm like. It's so bad. And there's in the same picture, there's like the picture before, because it's like, they get the whole group or whatever.
Yeah. The
picture before is someone proposing, and then the next one is
oh my God, somebody proposed underwater?
Yeah, loser.
Oh my God.
Yeah, cute. Is that an idea for you?
No.
Now you're like, yeah, well, I like the water.
No. I would want a very private proposal, I think. Something that was just quite intimate.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
I like that.
A friend of mine, she just got engaged to her partner she's been with for like 10 years. They have 3 kids together. And she was like doing laundry, and she said she turned around and he was like on one knee.
Oh.
Like, gave her a fucking giant rock.
Wow.
It's gorgeous.
Wow.
And he's like the nicest fucking guy ever, and he's like the best father, and he's just such a sweetheart.
Well, good for him. Well, this has been our podcast. Love that for her. Okay. Okay. No. Well, this is it. Thank you so much for.
I love you.
Thank you so much for speaking to me. Do you want to plug anything?
Oh yeah, listen to my podcast. It's called You've Changed.
It's amazing.
And just follow me online, Kate Barron.
Yay. Okay. Thank you so much. Love you lots.
Bye.
Bye.